News from around the globe. Hot, fresh, balanced and objective.
Hello and welcome to News Hour on Unity TV. Today is Tuesday, 6th of June 2023 and it's equivalent to 17th of Zulkida 1444 after Hijrah. The headlines. Subsidy, NLC TUC suspend strike. Terrorists kill 2, abduct 30 in Kaduna community. And under foreign scene, gunmen invade, kill 8 in South African men's hostel. And in sport, Messi's return to Barcelona possible, says father. And those were the headlines, and for details and more of the stories, I am Rukayat Sani Ibrahim. The organized labor made up of the Nigerian Labour Congress NLC and the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria TUC yesterday agreed to suspend its planned strike scheduled to begin tomorrow to enable further negotiations with the federal government. This was part of the resolutions reached at the end of the meeting late yesterday evening. Monday's meeting and resolution were attended and signed by Mr. Femi Gbajabiamila, Chief of Staff to the President, Festus Osifo, President TUC, Nuhu Toru, Secretary General TUC, and Joseph Ajero, President NLC, Emmanuel Ugboaja, MNI General Secretary NLC, and Ms. Kachelom S. Daju, Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Labor and Employment. According to the negotiation committee, the federal government, the TUC and the NLC are to establish a joint committee to review the proposal for any wage increase or award and establish a framework and timeline for implementation. The Trade Union Congress of Nigeria TUC demanded payment of a new minimum wage of 200,000 naira monthly. It is also demanding that the government revert to the old 185 naira pump price of petrol per litre to allow for a conducive environment for negotiation. In a statement, the President and Secretary General Festus Osifo and Nuhu Toru, respectively, TUC said status quo on PMS pump price should be maintained, while the minimum wage increased from the current 30,000 naira to 200,000 naira before the end of June 2023, with consequential adjustments on the cost of living allowance, COLA, like feeding, transport, housing, etc. The 8th Division of the Nigerian Army on Monday in Lagos paraded 6 suspects said to be impersonating military men. Lieutenant Ayodeji Awoyomi, who spoke on behalf of the Commander 8th Division Provost Group Brigadier General Muhammad Abubakar, paraded the suspects before journalists at the division's headquarters on Victoria Island. Awoyomi added that the division was also on the trail of a man who he said was parading himself as a brigadier general. He, however, lamented that some of the suspects earlier arrested by the military and handed over to the police were seen again committing similar offences. Terrorists have again attacked communities in Birnongwari local government area of Kaduna State, where they killed 2 and abducted about 30 locals. The police in Kaduna were yet to react to the incident, but a survivor, Malam Isa, said the communities affected were Shikawa, Unguambagudu and Sabolayi. Isa said more corpses may be found in the bushes if a thorough search was conducted. According to him, the terrorists attacked the communities because the locals could not pay levies imposed on them. He, however, lamented that based on experience, even if the levy is paid, the bandits will never stop carrying out their attacks against innocent locals. No fewer than 3 locals were killed by bandits in communities around the Tangaza, Sokoto State for allegedly not paying levies they imposed on the communities. The communities affected are Rakka, Rakkaduze, Gwadabawa, Kwari, among others. The police were yet to react to the incident, but a survivor in one of the communities told journalists on phone that over 27 bodies were already buried. He said security operatives in Sokoto were hard to reach at the weekend because of poor communication and bad network. According to him, that was not the first time the bandits would unleash terror on the communities, calling on the government to come to their aid. The Kwara state government on Monday directed that workers' days work days, be reduced from the 5 days to 3 days per week for every worker in the state. This is according to the government, is following the astronomical hike in transport fares. This is contained in a statement in Ilorin by Murtala Atoyebi, the Chief Press Secretary to Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak. The state head of service, Mrs. Susan Oluwoye, therefore directed all heads of ministries, departments and agencies, MDA, to immediately work out a format indicating that alternating work days for each worker under them. Oluwoye said the government took a temporary measure to ease the burden on public workers in the state. She, however, warned the workers not to abuse the magnanimity of the governor, stressing that the regular monitoring of MDAs by her office will be intensified to ensure strict compliance. The House of Representatives Committee on Aviation have rescheduled its investigative hearing on the controversial launch of Air Nigeria, Nigeria's national carrier, by the last administration led by Muhammadu Buhari. The committee had invited relevant stakeholders to the hearing, earlier scheduled for Monday in Abuja. However, representatives of most of the stakeholders had left the venue before the arrival of the committee's chairman, Nolim Naji, who came about 2 hours behind schedule. The stakeholders invited by the committee include the Ministry of Aviation, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Justice, Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission, airline operators of Nigeria, Ethiopian Airlines, as well as aviation fuel Jet A1 suppliers. Naji, after his arrival, apologized to stakeholders who waited behind at the venue, asking that the hearing be postponed to 3 p.m. on Tuesday. The Buhari administration had failed to deliver Nigeria Air after 8 years over the controversy that surrounded the national carrier. The federal government had boycotted domestic airlines under the aegis of the Airline Operators of Nigeria and signed a deal with Ethiopian Airlines to float the Nigerian carrier. The AON had consequently dragged the government and its agencies before a court to stop the process. And on the foreign scene, no fewer than 8 men were shot dead as gunmen invaded a room at a men's hostel in Umlazi Township near the eastern South African city of Durban on Saturday. The police said that 7 men were declared dead immediately after the shooting on that day, and the 8 men gave up the ghost on Sunday, according to NBC. 2 other people who sustained injuries, including a man who jumped out of the window of the hostel room, have been receiving treatment in the hospital. According to the police, 12 men were in the room drinking alcohol when numerous gunmen broke in and shot at them and then fled. However, the report said 2 of the men in the room were unhurt. And in sports, Lionel Messi's father, George, has said his son would love to return to Barcelona this summer. George disclosed this to newsmen after he reportedly met with Barcelona president Joan Laporte on Monday morning. Barca is said to be awaiting approval from La Liga this week regarding their financial plans ahead of the transfer window, while also beaming with the prospect of re-signing Messi. This is as Barca coach Xavi Hernandez said that Messi will make a decision regarding his future club this week and that the doors are open for his return. And that's the size of our bulletin on Unity TV, but you can follow us on our social media handles at Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at Unity Radio FM TV respectively. You can also watch us live on the satellite decoder Badarsat, which has been watched in about 38 countries of the world free. You can also stream us live and watch us on our YouTube channel at Unity FM TV. I am Rukayat Sani Ibrahim. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of our programs.
I was the head boy in my primary school, senior prefect and best graduating student in my secondary school, but drug abuse almost ruined my life.
I was on an average of 2 grams of cocaine per day.
I was taking 8 ampoules of pentazosine daily.
European shisha, cocaine.
I became a user, a dealer and a gangster.
I saw other users drowning. I knew I didn't want to be like them, but I was already trapped.
My family disowned me.
My employment was terminated.
I sold my car, sold my house. I'll go out out well-dressed and return shoeless, shirtless in exchange for drugs.
I was seeing things that were not real, and I once stabbed myself because I felt something crawling under my skin.
I contacted NDLEA and started therapy.
I spent 3 months in therapy.
I spent 8 months.
It's easy to relapse, but your mind has to be stronger than the cravings.
Drugs does not love you. You are not the one using drugs. Drugs are the one using you. Say no to drug abuse.